Very good afternoon, everyone. I think we'll kick off this event at 2 minutes past. So not too long now, and we'll be kicking off the event. So I'm just speaking so as you can hear that there is some actual audio on the stream at the moment. Okay, we're at 2 minutes past. So a very good afternoon, everybody. Let's kick off this live event. Today, we're going to be talking about the use of artificial intelligence in contact centers, a topic very much of the moment. I think a lot of people interested in it. So that's our topic for today for the next 30 minutes or a little bit longer. So my name is Gavin Stewart. I'm a channel sales manager here at VCC Live. I've worked in this industry for over 20 years. Presently for VCC Live, and prior to that, I worked for other vendors on-premise, contact center vendors, and cloud solutions as well. And I'm fortunate enough to have Magda joining us today. So Magda.
Hello, everyone. We are very delighted to welcome you to today's live talk. My name is Magdalena Horvath, and I'm a customer success management team leader here at VCC Live. Now back to Gavin, and he's the one who will give us an introduction to the topic. Thanks, Gavin.
Okay, so I'm going to kick off the subject and give a bit of a high-level overview. Not take too long because I want to let Magda take over, but I want to kick us off, give us an overview, tell us how we got here, talk about automation because that's relevant to the whole topic of today. So I'm going to talk about that for the next few minutes and then hand over to Magda. So if we look at this and we think about automation in communication, and you could change this to automation in call centers or automation in contact centers, but it's a subject that's been going on for some considerable time, and I'll take us back to the dim and distant past, and we'll work through to the use of AI. So if you take the analogy to a lot of processes, they might start off manually. And contact centers or communication has been like that, very manual basis to it. And then the need for increased efficiency and productivity has become an important factor. So we've introduced automation to shave seconds off a process, to make it more to make the people doing it more productive, or to make the whole entire process more efficient. So that automation is then refined, made better and better over iterations. And now we're at a kind of an inflection point because we've the introduction of something that can make a dramatic difference. And that's what we're going to talk about today, the use of artificial intelligence. And AI, I'm using that in the generic sense. So it's a catch-all for many different things. And maybe we'll talk about some of the other labels that it comes under. But the use of AI and how that can improve the automation that you might have in a contact center today that you're using, it could be enhanced, or what altogether new things could be brought about by the use of AI in the generic sense. And let's not lose sight of the main drivers here. So over the years, the main drivers have been efficiency and productivity. We all want to see those agents working in the contact center being as efficient and productive as possible. That's certainly a factor. And not losing sight of the ultimate goal is excellent customer experience. But we're going to measure that very, very tightly. So metrics. Everything is measured within the contact center. So we will truly be able to measure the difference that the introduction of AI into the contact center makes because it's highly measured environment. So let's take a trip down memory lane just a little bit to see how we got here. So really going back to the dim, distant past now. So here is the manual part of the story. So switching was manual. This young woman on the right-hand side with the fantastic headset. I wish I had a headset like that. But she was the intelligence to the switching at that point with the plugs and sockets and cords that she's using. So it was very much a manual process. And here's another example of that. This is a little bit more interesting, I find, and there's a YouTube video on this, worth a look at sometime. This is from the late 1930s. It was a machine, a voice synthesizing machine from the 1930s, amazing, called Voder. And the young woman on the left-hand picture there, she's the intelligence behind that machine. It wasn't using tape or records or any type of recording. It was a voice synthesizer. And she was driving that to create a synthesized voice back in the late 1930s. Truly amazing. And if we think how far we've come now, we have speech to text, text to speech, almost simultaneous translation, summaries, transcription, with all kinds of capabilities now that we've reached over the years, but starting perhaps from this very early point back in the late 1930s. So then this desire for automation, this desire to automate, to make things more efficient, to save seconds, to shave those seconds off processes. Well, maybe that came into the being in call centers in the 1960s and 1970s, so before my time even, but that's when it became available. And you can see some of the young women on the left-hand side there actually using manual typewriters, and I assume the other box is some ginormous telephone endpoint. So that's the dawn of the call center space. So we've been automating, shaving seconds off through the years, through the decades. So now we're looking at the use of AI. So you could argue that, are we just going to apply AI to existing processes and make them better? Well, the answer to that would be yes, in my opinion, yes, we are going to do that. Why wouldn't we? But it may also open up some new possibilities. So we think about this, efficiency and productivity, they're the drivers. And they have been driving us over the years, the decades, through automation. So now we have this new technology that has the generic name AI, artificial intelligence. And in real life, that's machine learning, that's large language models, that's adversarial networks, so all kinds of technology behind it. But let's just call it AI as a generic name. And we can apply that to existing processes to improve them. So most call centers are recording calls, recording interactions. So now very easily we can transcribe those calls. AI could be used to summarize those calls, could be used to translate those calls if that was relevant. It could be used to provide the agents with insights into the call. So as the call is going on, is providing some kind of feedback to an agent to assist them in their communication process with the end users. So it's going to do all kinds of things here. If we think about it in terms of outbound call centers, we've had the drive for automation. Outbound calls being made manually, introduction of preview dialing, power dialing, a degree of automation, the eventual introduction of predictive dialing quite some time ago, and now we've got artificial intelligence. Perhaps that can affect the importance. I'm speculating, but it's just opening up the possibilities that could be there. So there's going to be lots of new possibilities. The contact center's business has a lot of information on the end customer. The actual end customer in their own business applications has a lot of information on that end customer. If we could collate, synthesize, summarize, derive insights from, we can benefit the entire business. So that's a new possibilities that may become open to us over the coming years. And not losing sight of the overall goal here. This truly, it's an inflection point, I would say, in the industry, in my opinion, but it's going to open up possibilities for us to delight customers in new ways, open up new possibilities that we didn't have before, open up the possibilities for increased efficiency and productivity to boot. So that was my introduction to this subject. And with that, I'll hand it over to Magda for the next portion. Magda.
Thanks, Gavin. It was really nice to hear what's the story behind why we are standing here today at the point where really something that we've been talking a lot over the past years, and we have seen it as a future of business. We finally stand here, and we can really say that it's not just theory, but reality for many businesses. There's no doubt that AI plays already crucial role in contact centers because it can enhance efficiency, greatly improve customer experiences, optimize processes. There are certainly still many undiscovered opportunities where we can use AI in the contact center industry, but we can already find some areas where the technology is being successfully applied. And there are multiple ways to analyze AI's influence on the contact center industry. And here, in my opinion, so we created a little bit of a graph where multiple spheres of business overlap to create the modern AI-driven contact center, which, in my opinion, consists of three very important aspects. And first, the most common, and usually the first aspect businesses look into, are the ways in which AI automizations can be implemented. So, which usually includes inbound call handling processes, robocalls, chat or email bots. So like a full automation of processes with the enhancement of AI. Another application is using AI solutions to improve internal processes. So where we don't have a direct connection or communication with the clients, but it's mostly about our background processes in the contact center. And here we can include, I just mentioned a few like QA processes, quality assurance, agent learning, feedback, modeling, so some of our contact center workflows based on gathered campaign data, etc. And then yet another field where AI can help contact centers is providing agent support in handling chat or email messages or even real-time call communication. So basically providing a hand to our agents. So it's not full-time, full-scale automation, but rather a focus on how we can support our agents, how AI can support our agents by providing the most relevant customer data and quick and really tailored access to relevant and the most relevant knowledge bases. Okay, we can move on to the next slide. First of all, let's focus on this full-scale automations. What does this mean from the customer perspective? So AI-driven IVR systems use natural language processes, NLP, to understand and respond to customer queries. So this kind of helps in directing calls to the appropriate departments, providing automated assistance, reducing the need for human intervention, while it's the speech analytics tools that analyze customer interactions or extract valuable insights. So this helps to understand customer sentiment or identify any emerging issues. As customers, we should no longer be surprised if we call a service provider support line, and instead of listening to a long pre-recorded IVR message that we've been used to, that used to welcome us and request to choose one of the predefined options, we instead can use our own words to best describe the reason for our call. and then be redirected to appropriate queues, connected to the best agents to handle our needs, or we can be forwarded to the next processes that can be basically pretty much anything based on the business need. And since all of us contact our own service providers from time to time, we have all probably encountered better or worse chat or email bots in our communications. AI power bots and virtual assistants, however we call them, are deployed to handle usually more routine customer inquiries through text or voice-based interactions. And these systems can provide instant responses, often simply answering some frequently asked questions, guiding customers through simple problem-solving processes. It, of course, already has a lot of positive implications. Like the simple queries can be handled with pretty much no waiting time. Thus, there are no capacity issues. And those more complex tasks can still be handled by human agents who can, thanks to that, they can dedicate more time and attention to unique client cases and provide higher quality services. I can move on. And if we think about those processes that we can enhance in-house, so internally, not in communication with our clients, but internally, any kind of processes that we handle in the contact center. We are able to really right now analyze any kind of historical data that we store, even any kind of data that we never thought about that can be so insightful and that we could get so much important information from. We can predict customer choices, behaviors, identify some trends in how our customers respond. We can verify individual needs, suggest some tailored services or even some products to our customers based on their previous choices, etc. From a campaign management point of view, AI algorithms give also opportunity to discover and build very efficient business processes or extend the usage of existing data or processes. For example, we can use AI for detecting best times and channels to contact our customers, which can greatly impact our reachability rates. We can use we can use AI for quality assurance processes, for internal training processes, building easily accessible knowledge base for our employees, and from other perspective, help creating the most efficient, for example, predictive algorithms for our campaigns as well. Yet another very important use case for AI is in carrying quality assurance, what I mentioned, which is very, very helpful in this regard. That from human perspective, it's really close to impossible to verify all of the interactions and all of the calls, all of the emails, all of the chats that our agents handle over the during the day. So here AI is helping us in achieving close to 100% verification of all possible interactions that we may store, which makes the whole process much more reliable, because we don't base our estimations only based on some kind of small data sample, but we have close to 100% data that we can verify. Also, its call center AI can use speech analytics solutions for targeting surveys, for example, collecting or finding some gaps in the data that you currently have, and finding a best way and be the most efficient in collecting missing data, but also in our operations, like if we need to conduct some surveys, if we want to measure our customer satisfaction, for example, by customer satisfaction or NPS, Net Promoter Scores, for example, for collection processes, including calculations as well. And if we move on to the next one, and if you think about the agent experience, here's again another great field to use AI. So we don't talk about the full-scale automations, but simple help for our agents in their interactions. So our clients don't directly interact with AI in this case, but our agents are being suggested with some answers, real-time communication, verification of customer current mood, etc. Even those are already possible and growing possibilities. So here, our clients don't really feel like they speak to a robot. They speak to a real human being who is just being guided and being provided with the most relevant information, which helps us get better results in multiple KPIs that we measure in our contact centers, like first resolution ratios. That is greatly impacted by the fact that agents can receive the most relevant data in real time. It also helps agents onboarding by providing all relevant information in an easy form during interaction. So even less experienced agents who just joined our team can handle customer queries almost instantly. We give agents possibility to avoid the let's face it, more boring and repetitive tasks, and focus on the more challenging and rewarding ones. And I believe that it also helps avoid burnout and lowers employee turnover in contact centers. And this is also something that we noticed with our clients, and they provided us feedback like that it's really helping, and we can see a change in that.
Magda, I think that's really important. I think there's a lot of agents that have repetitive tasks, and it's really very unsatisfying for them to answer the same question 500 times a week. So if we can do something to relieve that and make their own task more interesting, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, if they can get rid of the most boring task, then they are way more satisfied with their daily job and the task that they have to handle. I would also like to mention, we can move on to the next slide. Meanwhile, that of course, since multiple AI enhanced solutions have been already used for a while, and we have some first-hand experience in implementation processes and real usage examples and data from our clients. And I believe that this will be something very, very interesting to see, especially that similar comparisons are really, really hard to find online or on any kind of, to kind of find the point how you can compare your own operations to others, or what kind of results you can get by using AI. It's really hard to find the data and real-time examples, real-life examples, sorry. So I wanted to share a few interesting information from our so far experience. So if you would talk about like the most popular examples, and the first one that comes to our mind, or the first that our customers try to implement later on, of course, expanding the scope of the usage of AI. But first one is usually handling incoming call queries, which is often used by customer care teams or those handling compliance. So instead of so far used IVR button-based solution, or we can offer a more customer-friendly solution, saving a lot of time and frustration. So normally a client calling a customer support line with a specific problem has to listen, so far had to listen to a pre-recorded introduction and choose one of the options, which in itself, depending on the complexity of the setup, would take around, let's say, 30 seconds, really depending on the business case. But and if then later on we move on with the process, and if there are too many options to choose from, and the client does not remember which one was the most relevant for them, they will need to listen to the messages again to be able to make their choice, again losing precious time. And then perhaps they choose based on their best knowledge, but later in the process, or once they have been connected to an agent, it turns out they were actually directed to the wrong department and will need to be redirected, again wasting precious time and testing their patience. And here is where AI can help significantly shorten the query process because it allows clients to describe the purpose of their call in just a few words. So using their own words, like what is the topic, or why they're calling the customer care line, and after which the algorithm can decide which group of agents are the most appropriate to solve the client's query. And this AI process can also direct clients to relevant self-service option as a next step, for example, allowing them to handle their case without any agent involvement at all. Or of course, we can set up our business process in the way that we actually allow the customers to connect to an agent at one point. So this way, if we enhance the process with AI, this way it's likely to only take a few seconds instead of close to 1 minute or more, really depending, where clients can be asked for additional questions even during that time, or confirmation of their client details, customer number, whatever we can imagine. So the client's identity can also be verified during the process, and alternatively, it may also be possible to simply connect them based on their contact history or currently or previously detected state of mood even. And this is where sentiment analysis is particularly important, especially in the case of handling complaints, in detecting a client's current or previously detected mood. So it becomes clear that the client is impatient and annoyed, and in that case, they can be handled as a priority and quickly allocated to the most skilled agent to avoid further escalation. And with this use case, it is important to note that what we are looking at, the average time spent in IVR figures, I think it requires an additional explanation because it pretty much depends on what we want to achieve, and we may be satisfied with either very short or completely or on the contrary longer time in IVR. Depends what is our focus. So if we focus on a solution that allows our clients to be handled in a timely manner and most tasks are performed by agent, while we just want to shorten the process using AI, it is great if we get our time in IVR shortened. And as you can see on the figures, it can be a really significant difference. On the other hand, we also had other customer cases where we may want to focus on the full self-service solution where clients are allowed to handle their issues or requests on their own fully within the IVR. And if we build it well, it can give them all the possibilities they need. And thus their time in IVR may be really long, but almost none of the calls will reach our agents. And in that case, this is our aim, saving them time to spend on their tasks. And in that case, we can expect higher percentage of calls to be handled within IVR or longer time in IVR. So both of those use cases, though, the one with focus on IVR resolution and the one with a quick go through IVR and connect to the agent, should give us similar results in terms of first call resolution. So we want to be efficient and solve most of our incoming cases within the first contact with no additional follow-up needed. And here the FCR in both business cases should be improved. So we expect that more cases will be finalized within the first contact.
Magda, I think that's absolutely enormous. That almost 20% improvement in first call resolution. That is really spectacular.
Yeah, it definitely helps a lot. Obviously, the process needs to be built very well, and this is something that we usually help with our business knowledge and experience. So yeah, it definitely can be achieved. And there is actually a funny story that we heard from one of our clients. It's just generally related to the usage of AI and how the communication can be really smooth. I hope you will also find it interesting, not just and it's not just funny for me, but so we heard from not directly, but from one of our clients where they used AI on their projects, that the virtual assistant was so good that there was a call from an elderly lady, and even though like the virtual assistant introduced itself at the beginning, so it should have been clear that the conversation takes place with virtual assistant AI. The lady appeared not to realize that she's been talking to AI through the entire conversation, and so because the answers sounded so natural and were precise, and there were no mistakes or anything like that, and it was accurate considering to what she asked for and what the AI answered. That in the end the lady just finished the call saying that it was really great talking to you and thank you so much for your help. Have a lovely day. So it really sounded like she completely didn't realize. I mean, nobody would say have a lovely day to a robot talking on the other side. So it was really a funny feedback to hear that actually it can be really smooth and it can really sound as a very human level conversation. So yeah. Sorry, maybe it was just general off topic, but let's move on with some other use cases. We have actually a lot and from many types of businesses. So another interesting use case is in debt collection campaigns, in my opinion. So any financial companies or micro loan companies may greatly benefit from it. And here AI can be used to make the payment or promise to pay collection process way more smooth and minimizing the agent involvement, or at least in the first stages where the debt is, let's call it quite fresh. AI can contact relevant clients via automated calls, which can be called robocalls, but let's say these are a completely new level of robocalls, not the outdated version, but way more modern, enhanced with AI possibilities. And then we can remind them about their overdue payment amount and original due date, suggest some possible solutions to settle it, which can be based on any predefined parameters that AI can base their answer on, or previously recorded client payment history. So the client can then choose to agree on a payment deadline or even pay immediately using IVR-based PCI DSS, really extremely secure payment solution that is also available. And in case of AI usage, it's really being taken to the next level, because then it's being able to assist the client in many problems, if any problems occur in the process. I don't know, the client makes a typo and the data is not correct, or cannot find their CVV code, or the inserted data turns out to be incorrect due to balance issues, etc. So then AI is able to suggest another attempt or use another bank card, etc. So it supports the process, so the client is not being left alone. This solution also has a number of key benefits. First of all, reducing the need for agent involvement. So the service costs of debt handling, debt collection are way lower. Secondly, it can increase customer satisfaction due to the removal of no feelings of shame related to the overdue debts that could be present during the interaction with real agent. And in a sense, the client can feel empowerment, so they know that they can handle it on their own. They don't need to. They can avoid human agents, and also they can pretty much go through the process whenever they want to and whenever it's comfortable for them. So avoid calls in the middle of the day where agents want to discuss with them their overdue payment, which can be a bit uncomfortable sometimes. For customers, in our case, for customers who, for example, never used the IVR-based AI-enhanced payment solution, on average, it brought us about 18% of payment being handled without agent assistance. So I think it's pretty high result. So if we consider that a lot of processes so far, so if you compare it to the situation where we didn't have automated process, but our agents needed, even if we use predictive dialer, if our agents needed to contact our clients who had certain number of days past due, then we are saving, first of all, a lot of their time, but also the rates of payments can be higher using automated and AI enhanced solution in comparison. Actually, there is also another use case for debt collection. Sorry, it's such a long topic, but those companies really greatly benefit here. And it's when they use specific inbound setup with AI enhancement, personalized with client data. For example, where they receive any incoming call that is first verified whether the calling client does not have any outstanding debt. So for example, it can be a situation like our client wants to contact us about anything else, a new loan or any kind of problems, trouble with, I don't know, withdrawing the money or whatever. And first thing that we verify is does this client is he okay with us? Did he pay so far everything? There is no outstanding debt. And after we verify that, if it turns out that indeed there is some debt overdue, then such a client, after the verification is being forwarded to specific processes and not allowing him to discuss anything else until some kind of agreement is being reached regarding the payment. So, for example, if we think about a real interaction, it could look like, and to have it personalized, I think it has even greater impact. If you have a debt and you call your financial company provider, and first thing you hear is like, "Hello, David, great that you called. We will be happy to handle your request, but we need to talk about your debt first." And it has. It can give additional information to the client, like you've been 5 days overdue. How about we find a solution for you? And then, the client can answer anything and keep the discussion with the AI and really find either a promise to pay date or immediately pay if it's possible. So I think it's really a really interesting use case. And of course, this kind of personalization and call filtering can pick up conversation with a client with outstanding debt, but that somebody who has proven to so far has really great payment history. So in that case, also the interaction can be flexible. And if somebody so far had no problems paying back their debts, then maybe we treat them a bit differently. So there are really many use cases.
And sentiment and behavioral analytics would also play there, I guess, as well.
Yeah, definitely. So we can feel what's the reaction of our client on this, and where we want to move on with the conversation. Yes, definitely. Of course, at any point they can be connected to an agent, but yeah, I mean it brings a lot of possibilities at the moment. I think especially in terms of sentiment analysis, its role is growing, and I think this will be one of the really exciting parts, or which direction AI goes in the future as well. And we have some other great examples. Now let's switch to some other types of businesses, because maybe it's boring that we talk about that collection. But for example, for sales related calls, product upsell or cross-sell recommendations became quite a standard already. But agents can also be able to suggest the best potential solution or answer to clients' doubts on handling objections, which is also a greatly, this can be great improvement in the process, because we don't have like a, predefined a list of objections that we can possibly hear from the client. What if our agent hears something else and he's not prepared in his script to what to answer to this? And here is where AI can suggest the possible solutions, if it's a really very well designed process. Another use case is from our clients from health related business who can also benefit from multiple AI solutions. So they often use AI for basic conversations with clients, like including scheduling doctor's appointments, being able to understand client's date and time suggestions, even if no dates are mentioned. So like, you know, client may answer, yeah, how about next Tuesday? So we are able to, of course, understand what would it mean and put it to the verify the calendar availability and put it put the visit in there. So this is I think really interesting. But also even when using natural conversation, very natural flow, we can verify customer data or collect information on their health status or symptoms. They can provide any kind of information that based on which they can either can be handled with the utmost care based on their detected needs, or they can be suggested some solutions or suggested the proper professional with whom they should consult with. Yeah, and what actually previously was partially mentioned, what is also a great use case for any kind of business is if we use AI for data collection processes. Surveys is one thing. It's actually pretty, any business can do that. Most importantly, for customer satisfaction scoring. Here it makes the whole process a bit more smooth, because we don't need to again use a DTMF, but because it's so easy, more of our customers decide to actually participate in the survey or answer our questions, because they don't need to, you know, they have their phone in their hand here, and then they have to click, and then again, and then click, and first of all, it takes much less time again. But also the process is way easier for them, but also we can not only collect answers on the scale, whatever, from 1 to 10, but we can also collect some information on more based on their own opinion that can be collected. So we can basically transfer their speech to text and have the entire information stored and gather any kind of data from that in the end. So based on actually our clients' experience as well, because of the simplification of this whole process, our customers manage to receive more answers from their customers, and they are more willing to provide their feedback, as the process is really easy to handle. So this impact is also has to be noticed. And as mentioned before, the impact on the tasks that agents actually handle causes lower agent turnover. This is not something that we can measure, but this is based on the feedback that we receive from our clients, that this actually has an impact on that, and they can see in their business that it's easier, because of course it's related to any kind of HR onboarding costs. New employees do not yet know so much about the business. They need to learn, etc. So it takes time, it takes money. And this way, they can see real improvement in these processes by simply using AI there.
Okay, so let's take a little look at the future, where we may be going with AI, just to wrap up our conversation today. And I'll pick up the middle bullet point, and then I'll hand it back to Magda to say a few words as well. But I think we're going to see there's going to be a social aspect or a behavioral aspect to this. So the end customers will become more familiar, happier to use AI-based, robot-based, whatever you want to call them, solutions. So I can envisage, it may also apply to the agents, you know, there's a behavioral difference there as well. But let's take the end customer. So let me paint one use case. You may be more comfortable, let's say, starting your conversation with some kind of robot, some kind of collection of data, maybe solving your issue right away or collecting the right data. Then you will be passed to a live agent, and that information that was gathered is correctly formatted, presented in the right way to the agent. So we're making the productivity enhancements there for the agent. The agent will do their work on the more challenging, more interesting part of the work for the user. And then perhaps they'll pass you back to another robot of some description to kind of close the case, to kind of finish that whole process. And that may be a social or behavioral difference that we'll see over time, people with their willingness to accept that. Magda, what would you call out on this slide?
Yeah, first of all, I definitely agree with that. It requires some time for customers to get used to being handled by robots and AI. But I think it's as long as the communication is so smooth, and so in many cases we can see that the experience is very, very close already to human experience. That very often they may not even realize they are being handled by robots. Of course, sometimes we still can come across not very well built chatbots where we cannot really get the information we want, and we just try to opt for speaking to a real agent. So this can still happen, but I think more and more as the technology grows and develops, I think we will have less cases like this, and we will be able to really handle our issues on our own with the help of AI only. And I really hope and I really vote for that. Why not? This is a good direction, I think. Especially that we can see that the use of AI has really good impact on the contact center as a workplace. So especially what we talked about this, let's say, repetitive and really boring tasks that agents can avoid and focus on more challenging things, which makes them maybe have lower possibility of burnout, leaving their jobs too often. So the turnover is lower, as mentioned regarding the contact center costs of rolling out or onboarding new employees. So I think this is also really, really important. And if we think about areas where AI will soon, let's say, experience even faster growth, I think that one most important thing that I would like to highlight is the sentiment analysis, which is already there, but I feel like it has much more power than we currently use. So really, it's options to react in real time on how the customer feels, what we can read from what they say, not only regarding real words used, but their tone of voice and other objectives that can greatly help our agents. So not all of us have the same level of empathy. Not all of us can precisely react to other people's changes of behavior or mood, in which I think AI can help real and human agents overcome these problems if they are lacking some sort of soft skills as well.
Well, thank you very much, Magda, and thank you to everybody else for attending. I hope you found some useful insights in our session today. And certainly it's a very interesting period for contact centers with the use of AI. So with that, I would just say thank you again. Please do reach out to us with any questions in the comments, or you can connect to us in whatever which way is most suitable to you. Thank you and goodbye.
Yeah, we definitely hope to hear from you later on and follow up on this topic, hear about your feedback. So let us know and let's stay in touch. Thank you very much from myself as well.